Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to Talking Mons, our Digimon adventure. God damn it! Our Digimon Ghost Game recap podcast. That we've been doing that for a year, so it is ingrained into my brain. I apologize. My name is JD, and I'm joined by my two good friends, Jeanette and Gary.
Hello.
Yeah.
And yes, we're here to talk about the new episodes of Digimon Ghost Game, episodes 3 and 4, titled Scribbles and the Doll's Manor. I'm gonna say, y'all, I'm really digging this show because, it is really laying on the, we're doing horror. It's not exactly, little kid horror, but it's, creeping on, actual spooky shit.
It's scary.
It's cryptic SCP kind of thing.
Kind of, yeah. It's been great so far, and it's just been getting better. Honestly, I'm really impressed with what's been going on so far.
So good.
So we're gonna go over these. We're gonna jump into these episodes. We'll start with episode 3, Scribbles. So every episode so far has been okay, Digimon is interfering with human lives somehow. Strange stuff has to happen. So then our main character's Hero, and as we'll see, the second protagonist Rory is gonna be introduced a little more here as an actual tamer, what have you. So in this episode, what is going on is that in everyone's pictures, their digital photos on their phones, these red scribbles are showing up on their photos, and nobody can explain why. But what is happening is that when the scribbles show up on, mostly selfies and stuff, the scribbles show up somewhere on your body, on your picture, and it affects your body in some way. And how this manifests is one example we get is one guy's pictures, the scribbles show up on his leg, so he's basically paralyzed from the waist down. Another one, the scribbles show up on this girl's hair, and her hair just grows out of control to the fact that she can't leave her apartment because it is just piling on.
There is a actual scary movie, an R-rated horror movie. Was that premise?
Yeah. And in the case of Rory, is a scribble shows up on her hands in her picture, and her hands are just disappearing, just slowly fading out of existence.
And clipping through a physical object.
Mm-hmm. So it's her hands are ghosting out. On the flip side of this, Hero and Gamamon, at the end of the last episode, noticed that who will become Rory's partner, and Goramon, this giant rabbit man thing.
Oh my god, I love him.
Apparently has been following Rory around, and I fucking love when he is introduced to Rory finally. Once we figure out what is causing this scribbles, and I like this explanation for why he's been following Rory around is that he apparently just likes the sound of her piano playing.
Mm-hmm.
Which was so flippin' wholesome.
Yes, it really is.
But then we figure out that the cause of this is a Digimon that I've been aware of but have not seen used in the anime before, but Dracmon, this little weird Devimon vampire-looking little rookie dude, and he's just fucking doing it to mess with people. He's just being a dick.
He has these Pan's Labyrinth eye hands.
Yeah.
And he can control people. That's he glares into.
Yeah, because it's weird because he tries to possess Gamamon and Hero, and they break out of it pretty fast. I think it's funny because Gamamon breaks out of it and then it's bite Hero really hard several times to get him to stop being hypnotized.
Just basically slapping me awake.
But yeah, so I really like this one. I thought Dracmon, what he was trying to do and what he was able to do to mess with these humans, I thought was genuinely kind of creepy. The way that just messing with your selfie somehow affects your physical body in a way. And out of all the examples that they gave us, honestly, I thought the most scary one was the guy who got paralyzed. Just for because it's for no reason, the bottom half of his body just stops working. And I did like that they showed at the very end when everyone started, like, all the effects got worn off. He's like coming out of the hospital in a wheelchair and he just gets up and walks away.
Mm-hmm. He's like, yeah, I thought it would have been hilarious if he like tripped or something.
Yeah. So what did you guys think about this one?
I mean, I love the whole series so far, but I really, really like this one. And Ignoramon, I love him. He's so soft. He's so cuddly. I think he's going to be my favorite Digimon for the series. But on the other hand, the Squid one has yet to appear, and I do love the Squid one too.
Yeah, we haven't seen Jellymon yet.
Jellymon's episode 5.
Yeah, she's coming up.
I really like how this is not a hero-centric episode. So I feel like that. I hope that from going forward, we will have episode that have the spotlight on another protagonist.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully in episode 5, it will be on their friend, the third character.
Yeah, I saw the preview. It's for the third character.
Yeah.
Hero's in it too, but it definitely feels more balanced, whereas Digimon Adventure 2020 was very tie-centric, and I really like that about this series. It definitely feels more that vibe I really wanted in Digimon 2020, where they work together and they're a team, and it's great.
Yeah, and I liked how Hero and Gamamon really didn't show up until after the first commercial break.
Mm-hmm.
The first half of the episode is just Rory, like, trying to figure out what the fuck is going on.
Mm-hmm.
So like Gary said, I enjoy that, like, they're giving time for these characters, their introduction, like a little bit of time away from like our main protagonist.
Yes.
It also helps builds the mystery. I mean, of course, we know that it's Digimon, but it's nice to see through the character's eyes what's going on, what they're trying to do.
Mm-hmm. And the storytelling in this episode and the next one is just so tight. Like, it's whereas Digimon Adventure 2020, which I'm going to reference as pretty much the past series we reviewed, it was very fast paced. This one very much takes its time and does its build up, and it's legitimately terrifying. There is actually really good. I'm going on a tangent, but there's actually a really good video by Mother's Basement on how hard horror is to do in anime. But this is definitely horror done right in anime, and I never thought it would be that in a Digimon show, but it is, and I'm okay with that.
Yeah, definitely. And I like that it is, because we're dealing with what is ostensibly ghosts, like their hologram ghosts is what everyone is calling them. But I like that it's like this kind of otherworldly, supernatural horror that's going on. And it's not so much like, oh, we're fucking, like, there's, like, these things are murdering people, though we get real close in the next episode, and I'll talk about that. But no, it is like these legitimately kind of scary situations, and obviously they're not going as full out as they could, because ultimately this show is for children. But I like this is taking it in a scary direction that I think kids can still handle, but like I think is still kind of a creepy situation.
Yes.
Yeah. But yeah,
and
so
it still need. Oh, and my favorite thing is that it still every episode so far needs more brain than brawn, like to resolve the situation.
yeah, more or less. Because they basically they like don't they like trick Dracmon to stopping basically?
Well, no, I mean they're still like they body slam him at some point, but it's just that there are a lot more thinking involving how to find him, because nobody can find him for most of the episode.
That's right.
He's just been jumping through the internet.
I mean, they do body slam him, but there's definitely a lot more thinking that goes into the fight too, rather than in Digimon Adventure 2020, where it'd be like, we're gonna power up and then just DBZ away there's definitely DBZ away the bad guy. There's definitely a lot more thought and a lot more nuance in this one.
Exactly.
Yeah. But yeah, this one was really good. I really like the mystery of the selfies and Dracmon's scribble powers, or you know, whatever. So that's really kind of a cool concept. But,
and the dynamic between Rory and Noramon, it's I love it, and I love how he's like a big gentle giant, and I love him, and I want to hug him.
I mean, that's what Rory does the first time she meets him like once she puts on the Digivice and he's able to materialize in the real world. She just like puts her face right in his chest. It's like, oh, he's so fluffy.
And he's so happy when she does that.
Yeah.
It's adorable.
So I think they'll get along just fine.
Jeremy Snow here, owner and editor-in-chief of The Geekly Grind. I'm interrupting your awesome, regularly scheduled programming to ensure that you know about our Geekly Grind podcast network, of which this show is a treasured member of. If you haven't had a chance to check out our site, you can do so at www.thegeeklygrind.com, and while you're there, check out the other members of our steadily growing podcast family, including the anime-centric Blake and Spencer Get Jumped, discovering new heroes and comic book keepers with Chris and Lance, exploring the vast universe of geekdom with Geeksploration, or of course appreciating animation's finer details with the Ink and Paint Club. Escape your weekly grind at The Geekly Grind.
So that'll move us into episode 4, The Doll's Manor, and fittingly, as this episode came out on Halloween, deals with Halloween. It's almost like they planned it or something.
Funny how that works.
I do find it always interesting how other countries deal with Halloween versus how we do it in America, where I don't think it's nearly as big as it is, but I do think Japan does celebrate some version of Halloween. Clearly, sorry, go ahead, Derry.
Oh, no, it's a commercial holiday. It's just things for kids to do. Like, it's an event that companies will put on, or school, daycare, school, or those amusement park will put on. But it's not like people will actually go trick-or-treating around the neighborhood, because nobody is going to hang out candies.
Which is weird, because they do mention that in this episode, that because when Hero is trying to explain what Halloween is to Gamamon, he's like, yeah, kids dress up in costumes, they go around, you get candy, and then, like, of course, Gamamon, with the mention of candy, starts flipping out because he wants chocolate, because that's his personality so far. So yeah, so it is Halloween. The school is getting decorated for Halloween, putting up jack-o'-lanterns and all that good stuff. But while Rory and her friends are setting up for, I'm assuming just Halloween party or just putting up decorations, her friends just start going missing, and you see them being dragged away.
It's creepy as fuck.
Well, it gets creepier because we eventually learn it is this Pumpkinmon that is taking them away. And what he is doing to them, because what we learn is that he just wants to be, he's basically collecting people to be friends with him, because he's like, oh, I love Halloween because everyone puts on these masks, my face is everywhere, so I want people to be friends with me. But what he's doing, he's basically like, well, everyone should have the same face as me. So what he's doing is like summoning these pumpkins, kidnapping these people, and then putting the pumpkins on their head, and then just taking a straight up carving knife and just like puncturing the pumpkin to carve a jack-o'-lantern face into it. But like the knife is going ever so closer to these people's faces. So honestly, if Pumpkinmon wanted to just straight up murder these people, he could do it pretty easily.
Luckily, he doesn't.
Yeah. And I like that he has these Ikakimon, which is these weird little pencil dudes, and he has a bunch of Candlemon that are like possessing these little jack-o'-lantern dolls that were set up for decorations, like 4 of them. And I like that like every time one of the students goes missing, one of the dolls ends up missing from the bench they were sitting on. So they're just like taking these people away for Pumpkinmon to like start carving faces onto.
Yes.
But yeah, it's legitimately kind of creepy. But now that Rory is, a tamer and has a Digimon partner, this weird shit's going on. So of course she immediately calls Hero and like, hey, some weird shit's going on. Can you come over here and help us?
Actually, she calls him because she wants him to come help decorate.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah. And I just like at one point she's like, you really will just do anything. And he's like, it's just easier if I agree and help. It's like it'll go faster.
I feel like that should be my response when anyone asks me why I work so much overtime. It's like, yeah, it's easier. Just the Hero vibe.
It's just easier than fighting it, whatever. So in the last couple episodes, Hero has openly had Gammamon out, and it's like, oh, he's like an AI hologram. They're new and top of the line, and I figured like they could get kind of away with it because Gammamon's small. But Rory gives the exact same explanation for Angormon, and he's like 6 feet tall.
Yeah.
This giant hair pile, and he's just walking around, and like everyone can see him, and like they're just totally cool with it because they're like, oh no, he's just like a hologram. It's cool. It's whatever. Well, it's not real.
She also find out how to like basically phase them out of the real world temporarily.
Make him invisible.
Yeah, because we've seen that the Digimon can appear, like materialize fully, like how Gammamon and Angormon can. But how we've been seeing the ghosts, where only like people with the Digivice are able to see them. You're right that Rory somehow figured out the button combination to make that happen.
And it's complicated.
Yeah, it's like a weird like Konami code button combination. But I like she does it, and Rory's like, man, I've been trying to figure out how to do that.
Yeah.
But also, it's also weird because Hero actually ends up figuring out, basically end up like some materializing these weird subspace arenas, because he accidentally does it because it's kind of like when Gammamon first appeared and all this grass appeared in his room. He figured out how to basically do another button combination press that like basically does a weird hybrid between the digital world and the real world, where like grass and things will start growing over the real world objects, but the things you're interacting with in that realm don't necessarily affect the real world. And this is shown where Gamma, like he summons this weird like in between world, and Gammamon attacks this sign for chocolate and breaks the sign. But once the sub world field is brought down, that sign is like not damaged at all, and like they're kind of confused about it. But I like that this is brought back up at the end, where all these victims that Pumpkinmon has taken hostage, Hero's like, whoa, wait, we can't fight him in this room without hurting all the people. Wait a second. So he summons that sub-world thing again, and it like summons all the grass and stuff and takes them to the other world. So it's like, okay, now we can fight because now the hostages won't be affected by any of this.
Right. And of note, the like actual fight, it's good, but it's very short in this episode. But I don't have a problem with it because it's a good episode.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah, and we get to see Gammamon's one of his 3 champion evolutions again. We see Beetle Gammamon again. I like this dude. Like, he's like a little red dinosaur. He kind of looks like basically if Flamebermon was red and didn't have any armor on.
Yeah, I kind of thought the same thing. And by kind of, I mean I did. I think he looks really good. Yeah. I still think he kind of looks like a Sonic OC, but like the really good one and not the ugly one.
Yeah. If like the Sonic characters were like freakishly tall.
Yes.
Gary, what did you think about this one?
I hope we see Pumpkinmon back, because by the end of this episode, they kind of made him a friend.
Yeah,
but then just disappeared.
Yeah, so we've actually, I guess so far it's been a back and forth with like, okay, the Digimon we're fighting is nefarious, and they get away and will probably be back because they're assholes. So like Clockmon and Dracmon got away, but obviously they're not remorseful for what they did. Whereas we've got Mummymon and now Pumpkinmon, where it's like, oh, they were just confused and we taught the error of their ways. So I was like, okay, we're cool now. So we're all friends now. So I do kind of like this back and forth they're having with like, we're going to befriend these or we're going to have like recurring enemies.
Yes.
Yeah.
I like that too.
Yeah, like in the previous episode, Dracmon more or less just lied to them. I mean, he did like revert all of the curses and everything, but he still have this malice intent for the future.
Yeah, he like straight up tells the audience like, okay, well now I'm gonna have to go plot my next prank or whatever.
Yeah, he'll be back.
Yeah. So That's kind of an interesting dynamic they're going with so far.
I kind of like to think Pumpkinmon is basically Pyrojack from Shin Megami Tensei. This is a Shin Megami Tensei thing because Pyrojack and Pumpkinmon look so similar. And and I can imagine Pyrojack doing the same thing, except he'd be much more evil about it.
Yeah, put a little witch hat on Pumpkinmon, and they're basically the same thing.
Yeah. No. I love Pumpkinmon though. He's so cute, and I love the Candlemon. They're so cute.
I've always liked Pumpkinmon's design. He's very simple. He's just got a jack-o'-lantern hand, a little doll body, and he's got a little axe in his head. I like the little arc they had in that first Digimon adventure where it was just him and like Gatsumon running around town doing weird shit.
Yes, very much so.
That was always fun.
Now I do wonder, because we just kind of resolved this episode by befriending Pumpkinmon, the people like woke up in that abandoned wing of the building, but we don't know what happened afterward. Like, how are they going to explain it? What are they going to say?
You know what? You're right. They did not say what happened to, like, when everyone was rescued. They just kind of like, okay, cool. We're friends with Pumpkinmon now.
Yeah.
At least with all the other episodes, that could be like hand waved away with mostly like medical related things. Like,
well, I mean, yeah,
with Dracmon, it's probably some weird.
Well, in the last three episodes, we've seen the resolution to what's happened to everyone. So we saw everybody waking up from the hospital. We saw everyone's like effects going away, but yeah, we don't see like the students that got kidnapped like walking away from this. They're for all we know, they're still in that room unconscious.
Oh, we see
them wake up.
Oh, do we?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But it's just that how would they react? It's like, oh, I was like doing something else, and suddenly you're here, or maybe they all remember this nightmarish pumpkin thing.
We saw everything.
Yeah. To be fair, each episode starts off with saying in this world that paranormal. I can't talk. Paranormal.
Yeah.
Things happen quite frequently in this world, so maybe it's just like a regular Tuesday for them.
Got kidnapped by a ghost. Oh, it's Thursday again.
Well, I wouldn't say normal. It's just become a meme that it's like, ooh, spooky things happening.
Creepy stuff happens in nowhere.
Like just more or less like cryptic form become kind of more mainstream.
Right. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I'll be interested to see if they try to explain that away in the next episode, if they're just going to kind of move on with it.
I'm thinking they're just going to move on, but I am wrong about many things, so we shall see.
Yeah, we'll see. So yeah, I think that'll do it for these episodes. I think we can all agree that we're liking the direction that this is going in. Liking the creepy vibe, the mysteries that they're setting up. So,
I have two things.
Yo,
can we talk about the preview real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
I don't remember watching it, but yeah, go ahead.
Oh, it just looks metal. I'm really excited, especially since it's going to feature Joe Senpai-ish character, and like it's got this whole white worm thing that looks like a dragon, and it looks super cool. I'm excited. I'm really excited.
Now, I'm wondering, because since Ruli got her partner, information about the Digivice got downloaded into him. That's how they figure out how to like phase him out or deactivate him from the real world. I wonder if we have a new thing that we'll find out. Because Gammamon is more or less just a baby and don't know anything.
Yeah, he's baby. Jellymon seems to be more of a menace than, from what I can tell from the preview, than like this super friendly like a Noramon. So I'll be interested to kind of see how it plays out.
Well, like at least from like the preview like descriptions that they put out of like all the characters and stuff, that like apparently Kiyoshiro, who's going to be the third protagonist, who's like the fucking dorm leader of Hero's dorm. Apparently Jellymon like knows that he is like super paranoid and basically just likes to fuck with him all the time.
Yes.
Like just scare him all the time just because she knows she can get away with it.
Yes, I already love this dynamic.
Yeah, and I've already guessed that, and it's probably gonna happen. Is that every time we see him, that he's so paranoid? Is that Jellymon is already there since before episode 1?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's probably gonna be like much like Angoramon. Like Jellymon's probably just been following him around, just fucking with him all the time. And that's probably why he's so paranoid.
Yes,
because weird shit just keeps happening.
It seems the white dragon thing though is actually going to be malicious. So I don't know. I don't know how it's going to play out, but I think it's going to be good.
Yeah, we'll see.
The other thing I'm kind of curious about is when Ignoramon will finally evolve or digivolve. So that's the other thing I'm looking forward to too.
I mean, we've seen everyone's at least first evolution in the intro to the show.
Yes.
So he becomes like a tall bunny dude who I think just does like kicks and stuff.
I don't mind if they take their time with this one, with the evolution.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen Gamamon evolve twice. I'm fine with if they wait a while, because if I remember correctly, didn't it take a good handful of episodes in Tamers before anyone evolved?
Yeah, I think so.
It was like probably edging on like 10 episodes before. Well, that was because they had like the power up card, so you could power up the rookie levels. But like, I feel like we were edging on 10 episodes or so before like Guilmon even evolved for the first time.
Yeah,
even though I'm pretty sure Terrormon did it first because he like went fucking berserk.
I think so.
Yeah, but I'm with you. I think I'm totally fine with everyone staying in rookie form for a while before we're like they start evolving. Mostly just because I am enjoying this like mystery solving, problem solving kind of aspect they're going to. So it's not exactly, they don't really need to evolve to fight yet. Gamamon does it for like a hot second anytime he does it. He like does one attack and then reverts back.
Mm-hmm. And as Ignoramon said, like evolution or digievolution isn't really so much a thing in this digital world.
Yeah, okay, so that's another thing I think we should talk about before we go. Is that Hiro is trying to find out more information about the digital world because that's where his father is. And so he like sits down with Angoramon. It's like, okay, I need you to tell me anything you know. He's like, okay, cool. So he just like starts telling about like, okay, well, there was this weird malicious antivirus or this malicious virus that essentially created all the Digimon a couple years ago. I'm sure we'll learn more about that at some point. But yeah, all the Digimon live in the digital world. Occasionally they cross over. Most of the time the Digimon are totally fine with it and they adapt and it's fine. But obviously we get these guys that are like malicious and messing with humans. But yeah, it is kind of interesting that he said that like he asks about evolution because he's like, oh, well, last time we fought someone, Gamamon evolved into like his next stage. But then he went back and Angoramon's like, well, that's kind of weird because in the digital world, people just kind of do it over a period of time and then just kind of stay that way.
Yeah.
So, I think this will kind of get into the more like power, like the bond is what allows them to evolve and revert back and all that stuff. But I think it's kind of interesting that they're actually addressing like tamer bond evolution versus natural evolution, and I want to see if they like kind of explore that concept more.
Yeah.
So that would be cool. Anything else you guys got for this week?
Nope.
Okay. All right. Okay. So I think that does it for this week. Like I said, I think we're all hyped on this show. So I'm very interested to see what it's going to be like once we add our third protagonist in here and get the team all together, and what kind of dynamic that's going to be like. What kind of more mysteries are going to be popping up. So it's shaping up to be a good time.
Yes.
Let us know in the comments on our various social medias what you thought about these episodes, how you feel about the direction of the series so far. That'll do it for us this week. Thank you all for listening. Stay safe out there, and we will catch you all again next time.
Bye.
Catch you on the flip side.